good afternoon, good evening. Diaries for discussion back in your ears. It's your host, Jermaine.
It's your host, Tuas, and today we have a special episode for you guys. We are going to ask the questions that you've always wanted to know in terms of relationship, sex maybe, but we have a female's perspective today, and we have a special guest called Caitlin from the podcast Girls Wasted. Hey, Caitlin, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Great. Love the lockdown.
Very well, thank you. I love lockdown. We got used to it now, accustomed.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Lockdown.
How's things been for you? How you been coping? What have you been up to?
Honestly, just chilling, just doing the same old. It is Groundhog Day. We have not too much to do. Somebody around the corner actually got fined for taking their dog a walk. They went too far with their dog and got fined.
No way.
So it's very intense.
Wow.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
how do you define too far from your home? I've heard, like, obviously you can't venture out too far, but where's the line? Like, is there a 2-mile radius around your home, or I don't know how it works?
They went 5 miles. So I'm
5 miles.
assuming
Oh, wow.
5 miles is kind of it. Yeah.
I'm starting to get
saying
scared
that,
now. Like, I go quite far out.
Well, I was thinking that, but I'm not going to incriminate myself.
Boris will be after you. But I don't know, like one of my somebody that I know drove through to see me, and they stay like maybe 25 miles away. Before I could get to the location, he texted me and he was like, yeah, I've just been stopped by the police, like I'm just sitting in this car park waiting for you to come over. And I was like, right. And he was like, oh, they've literally asked me for my license, which was obviously 25 miles away from where I stay. And then
Yeah.
they were like, you better just go, otherwise we're going to fine you, like the full whack.
Oh, wow.
So it was really intense, and I was just like, okay. So then I sat in that car park for like maybe 2 hours after that, and then there was not one
for the coast to
patrol
be
car,
clear.
nothing. Yeah, I was just like, yes, it's fine. He'd already gone home, but I was just glad to be out of the house. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never felt like such a criminal driving around now. Every time I leave my house, I make sure I'm on the lookout for any police. It's just because there's a lot of police presence on the road right now, and they've been pulling people over left, right, and centre.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I always
It's
bring a
mad.
shopping
It
bag
is
with
so
me.
bizarre.
Just bring a shopping bag with you. Just say you're going to do
Yeah,
the
he's
essentials.
planned it ahead.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Like, if I go to Colchester, for example, from where I am, that's like a 30-minute drive, let's say. So even that would be way out of like way past 5 miles, wouldn't it? So I've just got to think of someone that's in my support bubble where I'm driving to.
Yeah.
Let's stop
both live
incriminating ourselves. Let's stop incriminating ourselves, because people are going to watch this video or listen to it on Spotify or whatnot. But Caitlin, I'm going to ask about your podcast as well. So what is your podcast about? Girls Wasted?
Do you know what? It's actually quite funny. So Girl Wasted it's just a kind of, it's a fun thing. I actually used to study art, so it came from the back of an art piece that I done, and
Right.
it's just so stupid. It's literally a girl with a coffee cup. She's got some smoke going in one eye, coming out the other, and it's like a big brand across it, which is like white girl wasted, of course, like, you know, the Starbucks stereotype, all that nonsense. And it kind of just snowballed from there. I do a lot of design stuff, a lot of like arty farty bullshit, but like, yeah, it's what it is. And then I just thought, you know, one day, like, I'm a beauty therapist by trade, and I just sit and talk to people constantly. So it's kind of like all the stuff that I would talk to my clients about, like love, jobs, work, life, and then on top of that, Glasgow is like got such a solid kind of like creative, like music scene, all the rest of it. A lot of my friends and things are in bands and all that, so it's kind of just about connecting, you know, wasted potential, wasted opportunity, whatever else. Is there a better year for that? Like,
Yeah, that's true. Like, exactly. I would have thought you get to know your clients like inside and out as well with jobs like that, like beauty therapists, when it's a very intimate setting.
Oh yeah.
Like, and they tend to spill their heart out. It's like a therapy session as well, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone's like beauty therapist, and I'm like, therapist is not there for nothing. Like, there's a reason.
Yeah, that's great as well. Like with the creative scene as well of Glasgow or wherever it is. I know that I've listened to a couple of your episodes, and obviously with the artists and stuff like that, we've had artists come on and talk about the ins and outs of the industry and stuff like that. So it is quite an interesting listen as well. So guys, if you want to hit over to Caitlin's Instagram or her Spotify, we'll put the links and everything down below after this
Girl Wasted podcast.
Yeah.
But on to today's episode, relationship talks. We're going to be asking all the juicy questions that you guys listening might want to ask girls, but you're too shy to ask, and vice versa. Hence the female perspective today. Where should we start it off, Tuas? Should we let Caitlin, being the guest, take the floor?
Have you got a question to start with? Or if not, we can start it. It's fine.
I suppose we should maybe just talk about what apps you guys are using. Like, obviously, I don't think we're both single.
Dating apps.
I'm single. I don't know about Jermaine. I don't speak on his business. So, Jermaine, do you use dating apps?
I've been single for a while, but it is nice when, let's say, it's nice when someone walks into your life and improves it and blesses you.
Yeah. So basically, he's not single. But yeah. Basically, he's not single.
Speaking of riddles, no, I'm not single.
Yeah.
I'm not big on dating apps. Like we discussed this before, I'm not a big fan of dating apps. I've used them briefly. Tinder for me is definitely a no-go, but I know it's very popular. But I just can't bother. I'm quite picky as well. So when it comes to like sitting there, I'll be swiping left, like no. So I don't like empty conversations as well. And I feel like an app like that is just a lot of empty conversations. And with obviously a lot of cheesy pickup lines in the mix.
What's your opener? What's your opener? Tell me your opener. What's your opener?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm a good guy. Would you like to get to know me? Jokes, people.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
In fact, you know what? Like I said, I'm not big on dating apps. Let me hear your advice on what you would give.
How about me? You got to ask me for what I'm using. You can't just do that.
I know what your.
I'm the single guy.
Go on, tell me your opener. I know what it is. It's involving sweets, ain't it?
No, I'm not going to tell my opener because if they're listening, they're going to know that I used that same opener. I'm not going to do that.
Well, you got to be creative. If you say your opener here, how will they know if you're so creative? Like, if you're so creative and you're using a different opener each time, if you say your opener right now, how are they? All
right, let me create one right now just for you. I'll create one just for you, okay? So, Caitlin, what's your best talent?
Talk shit. I don't know.
You want to know? You want to know what my best talent is? Would you like to know what my best talent is?
What is your best talent? Yeah.
Oh, I can put a fruit pastel in my mouth without chewing it. So take it as how you want that. Is that a good talent?
Well, I can swallow pals whole. Like, what's the? There's not much of a size difference.
Well, it starts a conversation though, right? So roll-on effect. So you already know it's different.
But what if they just shoot it down?
Then I'll be witty and be like, oh, okay. Then I'll ask you different questions after that.
So let me just dissect that talent real quick. You put a starburst, was it a starburst in your mouth without opening?
No. Starburst is a bad man sweet. I'm talking about fruit pastels. You put
fruit pastels.
Have you not seen that? Have you not seen the advert when they go, I bet you can't put a fruit pastel in your mouth without chewing it? Have you never seen that advert?
No.
You're clearly a bad man. So
clearly.
Yeah. But in terms of apps. Yeah, have you not seen it too?
So you better explain it to me because I've not got a clue what's going on.
So it's not just me. Thank you. Nah.
Yeah.
So it's an advert back in like the olden days, like probably when I was like 6. So I'd know how old you are just from knowing that advert. So.
Okay. So that's a good way to find someone's age without asking.
There's a mentality thing.
Logic in the madness.
But on dating apps, your age is there.
I know, but sometimes they lie.
You can hide it, can't you? You can hide your age as well.
Only if you pay, I think. I think if you have like a premium account, you can hide it.
Yeah.
We have a regular user over here.
What's your
go-to date?
What's
your go-to dating app?
I'm on all of them.
What's all of them? What's all of them?
Hinge, Bumble, Tinder. However, those are like the apps. I would never venture onto like Plenty of Fish or anything like that. Absolutely not. And you have to pay for, not a chance, not doing it. What's the point? Like I already get enough grief. Why would I pay for the hassle? Do you know? Like, what's the point? I hate Tinder. I absolutely hate Tinder, but it's good for like if you're bored, it's good for like instant swiping, instant chat, instant bullshit, instant banter. Like, but I'll say this: some people were so boring before lockdown. And they have only gotten more boring because there's nothing they can't be telling you about their weekend antics. Like they are just, there's no personality, there's nothing behind the eyes. Like it is just bullshit. Like it's awful. So Tinder's not the one, but then obviously Bumble and Hinge are slightly kind of like slower burners. You have to actually put the time in to like, you're supposed to fill out your account and have like your little bubbles of like interesting things for people to comment on, and then you're just kind of like sat like, this is boring. Like.
Yeah, I mean, I've used Hinge one time. I like the layout of that more because again, Tinder, I think. Well, first of all, I think Tinder is set for just quick hookup, so it's fine if you want a quick hookup.
Whoa!
Oh, sorry, we've got to do like insult someone. You got a fan of Tinder over here.
Don't say that about Tinder. Although I've deleted Tinder a couple of days ago, but It is.
Oh boy, you delete Tinder and get it back. You'll have it back tomorrow. Don't worry.
No. Oh, hey girls, if you're listening, I deleted my Tinder 2 days ago. No, I'm joking. But no, I deleted it.
I was gonna say though. Go on, sorry.
Let me finish. Let me land. You keep talking. Let me land. Right. So with Tinder, like it's not just a full hookup. It depends. When you ask that question, what are you looking for? Then if it's that, it's that. But why do you think I had a bio? Because I want someone to actually look at it and be like, this is my personality. Boom, boom, boom. And then, and then if they don't have a bio, then you kind of know what it is. You're not really trying to get to know this person. It's all about the looks and boom. But when you speak to me, you know it's different. Or if I speak to someone
that's what I was going to say about Hinge though. Like when it comes to Hinge, I had that briefly. That was much better for my liking because I feel like you got like obviously pictures, videos, and you got captions. It shows your personality more. So if I was going to use a dating app, it would definitely be something like Hinge. And when it comes to like Plenty of Fish, the ones that you pay for, Caitlin, do you not think though that if you was to use an app that you pay for, it would show that the people on it are more serious about a relationship if you are looking for a relationship because you've got to pay to use it?
Desperate.
No? Or do you feel like it pulls in a certain crowd?
And I will say this, when it comes to dating men, it is a shit show. It is a shit show. They will pay just for the chance to be disrespectful. Like that is the ballpark, like kind of, that's my experience of it. And when I was saying about like your age is showing on things, you can pay for like Tinder Plus or whatever it's called, or like Pro Bumble or whatever the hell it is, and you can hide like certain aspects of like you, so your age, your location, whatever.
Okay,
you know, you can pay to like have the features where it goes further afield and you have a wider net to catch those fish, and the guys that are maybe paying for that or whatever else are just doing it for their own gratification. It's not necessarily to meet someone, it's not necessarily to be the good guy, it's not necessarily to find love, it is just for bullshit. Bullshit, entertainment, like whatever it is, like you know.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm not a fan of it. I don't know. I as you know, Tuas, I just hate messaging at the best of times. So when it comes to replying to like lots of people, just so long.
You're horrible. You're a horrible person.
It's kind of a blessing and a curse. It's nothing to do with being antisocial, but at the same time, I don't know, just effort. It's just I'm more of a speaker. Like I'll call you rather than text him. But when it comes to dating apps. When it comes to dating apps, do you feel like you still get a lot of catfishes or not in this day and age?
Oh, 100%.
Like, with all the filters and like what you see on the profile is not what you see in reality. Have you both got stories of like meeting up with someone 100%. And it's not what you thought it would be?
100%.
Personality. They can fake a personality. Yes. Oh my God. They fake a personality. That's something I've found. Like it's ridiculous.
Have you ever been on a date before, Caitlin? And they've arrived and not looked nothing like what they look like in their profile?
I go for older guys. Let me put that out there.
Okay.
I was gonna say 70-year-old men.
Well, I'm 24, so 40.
Wow.
Okay.
It's kind of so like that's the limit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the limit. That was that preference.
I thought that's where you start. That's what I was
thinking. That's the preference. Like.
But if they have money, we're going to 50. So, but no, like it is what it is. Like I don't know. I find people really boring. It's hard to kind of keep my attention. Like I am constantly like on the go. I always have something to say. Like people can't keep up with that. And then it's all, how's it going? How's your day?
Yeah, that's the horrible thing, isn't it?
Yeah, basic.
Yeah, I don't ask those questions. I don't care about your day.
You ask if they can swallow.
I just be like, I don't care about your day. I don't care about your day. But if you can put a fruit pastel in your mouth, if you can put a fruit pastel in your mouth, let's train together.
Do you think it's important, like on a first date, this is for both of you, do you think it's important for the guy to take the lead and choose what to do, the activity, where to go and pay for everything? Or do you feel like it should be sort of half and half, or the female?
Right. Okay. Can I answer this first? For me, I would take the responsibility of sorting out the date on the first date and like not even make you choose, because I'm trying to make you obviously get to know me and actually like me. So I would like sort out a date and then I'll be like, look, so this is what we're doing, blah, blah, blah. In comes with payment, it depends. It depends on who you go on a date with. They might feel obliged to pay half and half, which I don't have a problem with. And then, or if I want to just pay for the date for the first date, I'll be like, okay, I'll pay for the first date. You go for the second one.
What's the chance of you wanting to pay for the first date? Come on, Tuas, let's be honest.
Mate, I've paid for a lot of first dates. What do you mean?
I'm joking.
I've paid for a lot of first dates. But yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so if a man asks me out, you better come prepared. Like, you better know what you want to do. You better know where we're going. You better have like some sort of idea. However, I don't want some guy to be like, I'll come pick you up. I'm not ready to dish out my details to every fucking guy on the internet. Like, that's not happening. I'm not ready to die. So, but if you're asking me out, you better have a plan. You better just come with the attitude of like, I know what I'm doing. I'm in control of this, whatever. And I'll just turn up pretty as hell, just being like, whatever, like, oh, let's go have a fun time. So when it comes to paying though, like, I'll say this, what do guys actually do? They shower, they put on probably the same shirt they've put on for all their other first dates, their same aftershave. A girl's got her hair
That's
done,
not all guys. Whoa, that's not all guys. Let's just say that. I mean, some guys might have like a dating outfit. Yeah, true. I guess so.
No, hell no. I'm changing my outfit every time I date someone new.
See, I'm the same, but like, it's not always a thing, and we all know guys can be lazy. Like, don't pretend you don't have pals that are guys that are just like the bare minimum, scraping the barrel kind of thing, you know. So it just is what it is. But I think when it comes to paying and things, I would expect the guy to pay if he asked, you know. So
yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would say, like, me personally, I like to take control of like where we're going, what we're doing. Obviously, I'm open to ideas. If you've got an idea and it's a legit idea, then let's do that, obviously, by all means. But yeah, I like to, obviously, like you said too, you can show your personality more as well, your interests, what you're into. And in terms of like paying as well, I would feel more comfortable paying, especially just for the first date, at least. Like, do you get what I'm saying? I don't know, that's just, I guess that's more of a traditional thinking as well. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
And then as well, you got to think if like you've been talking for a little while, because I wouldn't really go on a first date after like talking to you on Tinder for like 6 hours. Do you know what I mean? I would kind of try to get to know you first before I actually initially say, right, so I feel the vibe, I like your energy, can we go on a date? And then figure it out from there, because I don't know how would you approach it, Caitlin, if like you're speaking to a guy and then suddenly they ask this, like, let's go on a date after 4 hours of talking?
I'll like say, like, a lot of guys are like, oh, you're really pretty or whatever, or oh, whatever, let's go to Instagram, let's get Snapchat. And I'm just like, no, we literally matched half an hour ago. Can you cool your jets? Like, can you calm down? And then within a day, they're like, let's go for like coffee, let's go for food, you want to come to mine? And I'm just like, no, like, that's too much. You haven't even given me any good chat. You've asked me how my day's gone, and that's it. Like, so I feel like there's very much like they want like the gratification without actually putting any work in. So like, I 100% support the idea of like talking to somebody for like a week or something and then planning the date, getting to know somebody a bit better. I also prefer like phone calls and things and voice notes. Texting, I become a lazy texter. I'm like, oh, just send a wee voice note, that'll do. That's
two of us. There you go. That's two of us.
I think it also gives you a better idea.
Phone call, it depends for me. It depends, because I've like obviously in Tinder, and when they give you their number and stuff, I would introduce myself on like the WhatsApp with like a voice note or something, and then a phone call doesn't really warrant until like I'm comfortable or she's comfortable too, because I can't just be calling you up out of nowhere and just be like, hey, is the guy from Tinder? Like that is, I think that's weird. That is a bit weird. That's a bit.
That is weird.
You see, you say that, you say that. I'm about to break the mold right now, because like I say, I'm not a big user of dating apps, but in the short time that I've had them, when I've had them, I don't like all the small talk, so I'll just get straight to the point. So for example, we've had like, when I've done it in the past, I might have spoke like for a day or so, and then just gone straight to phone calls, and then literally arranged to meet up. I don't like just prolonging these like little empty messages. You get what I'm saying? That's not going nowhere.
So you're the guy that will message someone, right? Let's say you message you ring them. Right, let's set up a date, and then let's set up a date for next week. Do you stop talking to the girl for a whole week and then expect to see them on that date?
No. I'll still talk.
Oh, okay. All right.
But yeah, obviously you got to show like a lot of interest by then at that point.
Right, okay.
Is what I'm saying. But I don't like just like wasting time, and then like after like a week or 2 weeks of talking, or just trying to stretch out a conversation, then arranging to meet up, and then they're catfishing anyway or something like that. But obviously having phone calls as well, like you're saying, is a good way of making sure you don't get catfished. Because when I've seen it on TV and people have been talking for like 2 years and then they still haven't heard the person's voice, seen what they look like, I'm like, you deserve to get played. Because I don't know how you go 2 years without like seeing the person.
I am so impatient. Like, see, when it comes to getting to know somebody, like I'm like, oh, like da 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 da, and I want to know more of them. Obviously, also got to play it cool, you know how it is. But like when you're interested in someone, you want to speak to them and you want to kind of see what's going on. So I'm quite keen on like a phone call or whatever. I'm also very direct. Like a lot of the time I'll message first. Like obviously on Bumble it's geared up to be like that. But I will message first. Okay. Not necessarily always in a good way. Sometimes I just want to slag them off purely. But like it just depends.
That's the fun of it, I think, sometimes. Being able to just like dish something because it's there. I've seen a profile right on Tinder, which that really fucking irked me. It was like, what the fuck? Why would you even write that? It was saying about like I only date white boys, and it was like white supremacy shit. And I was like, why would you put that on Tinder? I was like, so I tried to match with her, obviously. Yeah, I tried to match with her, but obviously it didn't happen. But I just to take the piss, and it's like, yeah, but what's wrong with like people that are not white? But you get some profiles out there that's out there, innit? Like proper out there.
I don't know. I think people advertise. I think people advertise a lot of weird stuff on dating profiles. That's why I'm not a big avid user of it. But okay, what advice would you give, Caitlin, for a guy? Let's say there's a guy out there that's very shy, whatever age. You get 40-year-olds that are still shy. What advice would you give them going on a first date? Let's say to tick the boxes and get brownie points. What would you advise? So wear something nice, put in some effort. I'm guessing is a good start. Not be too forward.
Yeah. You can be forward, but you can also be like respectful, do you know? Like, don't be sleazy, don't be like taking it to like bedroom kind of talk. Like, just don't be a sleazy guy. Okay, so I have had plenty of bad dates. That's a lot of what I talk about is how horrific they are when you finally meet up with people in real life. But the best thing to do on a first date is just to kind of show that if you are genuinely interested in someone, you can tell.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Just like enjoy the conversation, see what's going on. One of my friends, he's a guy, he's quite like reserved and quite quiet. He's taken up with this girl who is even quieter, even shyer, and I'm just like, how does this work? And he's like, I don't know what she's thinking, and I'm like, she probably doesn't know what you're thinking. Like, just
they got some telepathy. Is it called telepathy going on?
Yeah, building it up.
Yeah, building up the tension.
So yeah, I think just make sure you have a solid plan. Make sure you have like a kind of end goal. So I'll say like on a first date and things, I normally will go for a coffee before we go for dinner. That's just like a thing. Just so that if they're weird, I'm not stuck like halfway through a meal being like, how did I bail on this guy? Like,
what's wrong with weird? What's wrong with weird though? What's wrong with weird?
Oh no, when I say weird, I mean like misogynistic, like really quite nasty, rude, horrible man, like weird behavior. When you're that guy's like touched in the head, like that guy's weird. Avoid that man.
Abort.
With that then, let's go into traits. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this: does height matter for a woman?
Oh, be careful with your answering this one as well.
Be careful, because I might just end this call.
We are two different heights right now.
I know that we have a short man, but I also talk to a lot of women day in, day out, and height is an issue for women. Some girls don't. Like, I used to have a friend who was 6'3".
Wow.
So that's a woman who is 6'3". She's really tall. She didn't mind going out with guys that were like 5'6".
Yeah.
A lot of guys have an issue with girls being taller, I have found.
Yeah,
really? I don't.
Experience.
I agree.
Can I answer this question?
Before you do, because you can answer this as well. I feel like a lot of guys, like shorter guys that go for taller girls or don't go for taller girls, is because they might feel demasculated, like the woman shouldn't be taller, sort of thing. Can you relate or not?
Let me answer this. Let me fucking answer this right now. So I'm 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", maybe, depending on what shoes I wear, right? So So my previous relationship, where we was together for 5 years, right? She's 5'8", so she was taller than me. Before that, I've dated women taller than me. It's never really bothered me. Like, again, I think it's the preference also of a woman. Like, I was always confident. Like, if we went out and she's wearing heels, like, that's my girl. I'm not gonna be like, do you know what I mean? I can grind from that position as much as I could if I was taller. So it's never been a problem. And when you're laying down, you're the same size. So, but no, it's never been a problem for me because I was always confident with myself. Like, even if you're taller than me, the whole thing is, it's not all about height. My personality is larger than life. And then you've got like, obviously, you got to realize the relationship. If the relationship is good, why would you break up a relationship just because he's shorter than you? But the relationship, he supports you, is nice and everything like that. But that's my part. That's my part.
Well, I applaud that, and I think it's good. Yeah, it's good. It's important to feel comfortable in your own skin. Like, but obviously, I don't know. Obviously, it's not a flaw, obviously, but I guess people are subconscious over little things. So if height is one of them, then obviously they're going to always focus on that, aren't they?
I think a lot of it is to do with how they're perceived and how other people view them, and it's a case of like, oh, she's so much taller than that guy. But I have actually had only one boyfriend who's been taller than me. So that's the thing. I thought I was 6'1". I have literally been 5'11" since the age of like 11. I kid you not, I went up to high school taller than pretty much everyone there. Yeah. I've always been tall. And then I filled out, so it was fine. But like this big long beanpole walking about. But my first boyfriend was about 5'11", and I left high school and I was about 6 foot. Thought I'd grown to about 6'1", but during lockdown I actually remeasured myself, and turns out I'm only 5'11.7". So not quite at 6 foot, but I'm still claiming I'm 6 foot.
I was gonna say most people wouldn't admit that, they just say 6 foot.
But that's the thing though, like growing up, I was always playing basketball. I played collegiate basketball in college as well. So everyone was always taller than me. Like I had someone that was 6'8" like against me all the time. So it weren't like height bothered me because I'm going against trees all the time. Like it never bothered me because I can still beat you even if you're 6'5". But it's just one of those things. Height never really just bothered me. Again, it's like it's just a number. But then when you look up to someone, it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I find tall women attractive. Is that a bad thing?
No.
Yeah.
I think this is the thing though, like people do find tall women attractive. They're always like, oh, you want like the 6 foot blonde. That's always been like a kind of like comment that's been made to me. I'm obviously not blonde, but like it is what it is. And then but it's always been one of those things like, oh, he's taking up like a 6 foot blonde. It's just like one of those weird sayings. Like, where does that come from? Because most women I know are kind of between the 5'4" to 5'8", you know. So it is what it is. But then obviously it comes into like how they feel, and if they're uncomfortable with the fact that someone is taller than them, and all the kind of perceptions around that as well. Yeah. I think
each to their own. But going back to what you said about your friend, like your two quiet friends, the guy and the girl that were just mute, basically.
Yeah.
That makes me think like, I don't know, for some people, they would argue that in a relationship, it's better to be chalk and cheese, like opposites attract, to be the complete opposite. But then other people would say like, no, it's better to find someone that's like enjoys all the things that you enjoy, you're into all the same hobbies, and again, like they're both quiet people. What would you say is more of a preference? Like when you're dating someone, do you go for someone that's similar to you, or do you look for opposite, or like what is it?
When I'm dating, I look for someone who can keep up, someone fun, someone that's got like a big personality. I'm literally always doing weird shit. Like if you've seen the podcast page and then probably seen my own Instagram, I'm always running about with like fake beards, horse heads on, like sliding about on a penny board down a hill. Like there's always something that I'm doing, and it's always a wee bit off. You're just like, what is going on? So like for somebody to kind of come in and just kind of roll with the punches kind of thing like that is also quite chilled out, because I'm quite like a kind of high intensity person, if that makes sense. So a little bit of a difference, but also that kind of duality of I can be chill and I can also be crazy. Like it's you know.
Yeah. What about you two?
It sounds like Caitlin was describing me, but no. I'm the same, to be honest. Like for me, like I like a good balance. I want you to have your own stuff, and I want to have my own thing as well. But then again, I kind of want to meet in the middle. Like on the weekend, we watch certain films and we click in that film, and it's not just like, oh, I don't want to watch that shit. Do you know what I mean? Like you want to have some sort of like balance of like here and there type of thing. So I'd rather have my girlfriend or partner like have her own things too. So like on a Saturday or a Sunday, it's like, babe, go do your thing. Like I'll go chill, clean up, whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? Like you want to have also that time apart and not always be each other's pocket. No.
I mean, for me, like I prefer them to have, again, like what you say, the different things, but more so like the opposite as well. Like when I've like dated people in the past, I've been with like people that I've been with, they've never really shared the exact same interest. We've always had quite different interests, but for me, that's what makes it interesting. And obviously, I show interest in I'm always about learning new things anyway. So I like to be with someone that's also open-minded, so they show interest in what I like, as opposed to just being like, that's not my thing. Like show no interest, like they're not bothered about it. You do your thing, I'll do my thing. So yeah, just finding that balance, like you say.
Okay, so I've got this question for you both. So, would you rather have someone that's good looking but has no personality, or someone that's butters but has personality that you're attracted to? The right personality that you're attracted to, but you're not attracted to him at all, like physically.
When you say butters, how butters are we talking?
Like, I mean, like zero to your taste, to your liking. So, like his looks, you wouldn't go there, but his personality, you would.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well,
I'll tell you this. All my boyfriends have been not the best looking. It has been more of a personality case, but I do like a rough looking guy, so it works for me. But I don't know. Like, they're not hideous. They're just not pretty.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, well, for me, personality is always going to be more important than looks, first and foremost. Obviously, looks also plays a part, but personality for me is more of, that's what looks can make you interested in someone, but personality is going to keep them interested. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't know, like, obviously, in this hypothetical situation, if I had to choose one, I'll probably go for the personality.
Looks.
Still.
Oh, I thought you was going to say.
I still go personality.
So
but I don't know. I've not been one for like what's it called, the trophy wife, let's say. Like no brains, nothing about them, but they just look beautiful. So
yeah, I mean, it could go both ways with men too. They could be good looking and nothing's in there. But for me, like, you know what? For me, I get attracted to someone's energy and someone's like vibe in a sense, and also like personality. I don't get attracted by your looks, because at the end of the day, you're showing something on, let's say, Tinder or Hinge. It could be like every single picture that you posted that has filters, or you've got a full face of makeup. Like, I don't care if you have a full face of makeup or you have nothing, because if I wake up in the morning and I'm having a joke with you and you're just like not doing nothing, it's just like it doesn't hit you, then I'm gonna be like, what the fuck am I here for? Do you know what I mean? Like, I want someone to like vibe and energy. Like, I don't care about your looks. That shit changes.
There you go.
Sure.
Beauty fades, personality stays. Okay, speaking of bed, what do you both think about sleeping with someone on the first date? Obviously, it's a new day and age now. It's not what it was like 100 years ago. Do you stick to like the sort of old morals where that's like it's a no-go, or Caitlin, I've heard this thing that women have, apparently this 5-date rule or 6-date rule, where it's like you don't sleep with no one until like the 5th date or 6th date. Where do you stand with that? And if you don't want to answer, say no comment.
This is my answer. This is my answer.
Okay, so I honestly am not into casual. I don't do it. I'm not interested. I think it is more for the man's benefit, if that makes sense. Now, obviously, I fully support the girls that are like, yeah, I'm just going to go and get it, like, whatever, that's fine. But I also kind of feel like men are quite selfish and can be, like, really quite, cruel maybe? Like, they get themselves off, see you later, there's an Uber outside, I'll see you whenever. Like,
what?
Yeah, so that's just some of the kind of stories I've heard. There's the joke of like, oh, right, I'll see myself out, I'm away home to finish the job. Like, that's obviously there for a reason. It's obviously not uncommon among like women. And sometimes you get boyfriends that are the exact same. I also have this thing, obviously a good Catholic that I am.
I am a Catholic too.
Yeah. I will not really get with someone unless I'm in a relationship with them. I have obviously done like the kind of wild party, like reckless bullshit when I was like between the ages of like 19 and like 23.
Let me interrupt you real quick. When you said that, your rosary started to go on fire, so you were lying. There was a rosary bead behind you that just started to set on fire.
To what part? The wild reckless bullshit, or like the fact that I don't stay with someone in a relationship?
No, I'm just messing.
I have obviously done bits and bobs, nothing noteworthy. In fact, there was one guy in Australia, and he did not go the whole hog. It was a 2-pump jump situation. He let all of Australia down, and I'll never sleep with an Australian man again. But
so 2 pumps.
I was just like,
wow.
Yeah. And then he got like, there was a round 2, which gave me another 2 pumps.
3 pumps.
Yeah. Walked out with 4 pumps. But like, that was it. And I was just like, what is going on here? Like, are you kidding? He also was 28 and I just turned 21. There was a bit of an age difference, but I was just out there living life. And then we started drinking whiskey, which I'm 100% going to blame the whiskey for that one.
Don't blame the whiskey. Whiskey's our friend. Whiskey is our friend.
Blame it on the alcohol.
I can't drink it, honestly. It gets me so like this. Like, but
was it after that experience when you started then going for older guys?
I've always gone for older guys. I was 21 actually. Sorry. And I went on a date with this guy who was 32. The whole week we've been talking, right? He was like, oh, I'm so big, I'm so muscly, I'm this, I'm that. And I was like, great, like, I don't know what you want, like, amazing. And
COVID.
What did he say? I don't even know, man. Like, I think I just need some more. But he basically was like, what did he say? He turned up and he was the skinniest, lankiest guy. So he's still taller than me. He was like maybe 6'2". That's a whole mess, right? One, I was on the train and it got stopped, and I texted him. I was like, listen, I'm gonna be 5 minutes late. The train's stuck like in a tunnel. It literally didn't even really stop. It essentially was just like another pit stop on the way into town. And then when I got to the place, I texted him and I was like, oh, like, I'm off the train. I'm literally 2 minutes away. Because obviously I'm always late anyway, but I kind of didn't want to be rude. So I kind of tried to keep him in the loop as best I could. And then I got there. He wasn't there. And I was like, what the fuck? No, I shut you up. He had gone into like his friend's bar down the road and was sitting like watching the football or some shit with this like other like team of people. And I was like, and he's like, oh, sorry, the game's run on. I thought you would still be on the train. And I was like, well, I kept you updated. So like, what the fuck is this? And then I had some other guys come over and try and talk to me while I was sitting in this bar by myself, to the point where like the stewardess kind of like waitress person had to come over and be like, are you okay? Like, just, and chase them away because they honestly wouldn't leave me alone. Then this guy came in, big, long, skinny man. Not at all like the big beefcake if you're
not as advertised.
Yeah. I was like, if you're going to tell me you are like mad ripped and like ready to fucking throw cars about the place, you better look like it. Like, are you kidding on? So then we went to another bar, and he leant across the table and like pulled my hair. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, proper rage. And he was like, just try to see how you'd react. And I'm like, I'm going to punch you in the chin. Like,
there's different ways of testing the waters. I've never heard of that way. Not on a date, like just yanking hair.
And I was like, you're a fully grown man at this point. You could have kids. Like, why are you acting like this? And then on the way back to the train station, I thought he would go that way. So I was trying to go the other way. And he's like, no, I'll walk here. And I couldn't shake him. And then he starts telling me about his ex-girlfriend and all her like preferences. And how he was like, well, I fucking hated her. So I started pissing on her and she asked me to pee on her and all this. And I was just
Why are you telling me this? I'm trying to go home. I'm trying to literally go home.
Like, I'm trying to leave.
Wow.
Bloody hell.
Oh, it was horrific.
I've not got dating stories like that.
They're awful. Like, men are horrific. Like, I wonder how I've survived this long. Like, why am I still interested in men? Like, what?
Yeah. I mean, let's get back on the whole Tinder thing, right? So in Tinder, if you're speaking to someone and you've established that you're obviously going on a date, is it acceptable for you or the other person to entertain other people at the same time, like still talking to other people? That's okay, yeah?
Yes.
How about you, Jermaine? How do you feel about that?
I think if you've been like, if you're on Tinder and you meet someone and you've had one date, for example, you're not seeing them, are you? You're just going on a date, so you can still speak to other people. But if you're like 7, 8 dates in and you're showing interest and like she's also showed the same interest, then for me personally, I wouldn't give more time to other people. But still, I guess if you haven't established that you're actually official, then I don't think you're doing anything wrong. Me personally, I just can't bother to entertain that many people. But I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with it.
Can't. Yeah, no, you can't.
Well, what about you? Do you think that?
I'm quite respectful. So if I'm talking to someone and I'm going on a date, I won't hinder myself from like getting to know multiple people when I'm trying to like get to know this one person. If that date flops, I'm back on it. But if the date goes well and I'm going on a second date, it's only respectful for me to kind of just go, right. So I don't expect the same from her. I don't, but it's for my own benefit, because I want to get to know her in that level that if I give this other people this attention, I'm not 100% on her. Do you know what I mean? So I'd rather see where that goes first. And then if that flops, then boom, I'll speak to the other ones.
I think as well, like when you find somebody that's like a kind of higher caliber, you know, and amongst the mess,
yeah, exactly.
then you want to invest time.
Like,
I'm the same when it comes to finding a guy. Like, there's so many nonsense people. You want somebody that's better. So when you find someone, you do kind of want to just sink more time into that. And not entertain just anyone.
Because connection is important. Connection is important. And I think like when there's no connection there, this is why I don't understand how men can just sleep with someone they've just met when there's no connection there. How are you going to get aroused with no connection? But that could be me. But connection is important.
How do you, I was gonna say, how would you feel if, for example, you was like really into the woman and you like cut off talking to anyone else, but then she was open and she said, well, I'm still keeping my options open. I like you, but I'm keeping my options open. How would you feel in that instance?
That's fine with me, because I'm confident enough to know that they're losing already, because I'm already on a date with you. They're just talking to you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck if you're talking to 20 men. You're in the date with me. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to make sure that you're going to remember me. I'm going to make sure that you're going to enjoy this date. So I know that those men, they wouldn't even be in my head. If I'm on a date with you, I'm not even going to think about them. Like, there's no one else but me right now, because I'm with you. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't care. And I'm loving
the confidence. I'm loving it.
No, but the fact is, if she does go off with someone else, then I'd know that she wasn't the one for me anyway. Like, do you know what I mean? So I would have just moved on. I wouldn't feel that a certain way because I put my effort in. I'm going to make sure that I'm having my own experience right. And then if her experience is that way and she goes with another man and we flop, I know that she wasn't the one. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
How do you handle rejection though?
I handle rejection perfectly fine. Like, again, growing up short, I'm going to use this like with basketball. I was never afraid to get blocked or rejected in basketball. I was never afraid. I would always go for the contact. If you block me, you block me. That's it. What's the worst that can happen if I get rejected? Like, if I get rejected, like, I'll give you another like 10% of effort. So let's say I've already given you 100 and you reject me, I'll give you another 10. And if that don't work out, cool. I've done my best. Good luck.
I like the analogy. In terms of rejection, I think as I've grown older, I've grown more wiser to that. And obviously, I think life's all about rejection. It's just about how you move forward. You got to get rejected.
It's not all about rejection. Life ain't all about rejection. Don't say that.
No, I think it is anything you pursue. Whether it be a relationship, whether it be business, whether it be a hobby, do you get what I'm saying? You've got to learn. Do you get what I'm saying? You're going to encounter failures or rejection, however you look at it. So it's going to happen. And if you don't try, and because you're too scared to get knocked down, you're never gonna obtain anything. So yeah, I think rejection is just part of the. I think rejection is part of the process, to be honest. And obviously, in my opinion, when it comes to relationships, rejection just leads you on the path to finding the right one. That weren't the one for you. That's the way I look at it. So I wouldn't have a fear of rejection.
Yeah, redirection.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, I've got an interesting question for you, Caitlin. I'm gonna give you a really good question. What does the girls' group chat look like?
A girls' group chat.
A mess.
What does a girls' group chat look like? See, as guys, we talk about sports. Like, we don't. People think that the guys' group chat is just full of dicks and fucking women's vaginas and everything else. It doesn't happen like that. If anything, it's the most boring fucking group chat. So, what does your girls' group chat look like?
I bet everything, like talking about like your hair, makeup, men, bad dates, who you found on Tinder. Oh my god, this person on Tinder. Oh my god, my ex has just texted me. Oh my god, my ex is phoning me. Oh my god, there's that guy I ghosted 10 months ago. He's back on the scene. Last night, I got a text that said, "I want you to dominate me." And I literally was like, in the chat, like, let's go. Like, it's just like, I was like, what the fuck? And they're like, get paid. So, you know, it's okay, just mad. It is mad.
So you don't share nudes? You don't share nudes or anything like that?
Sometimes.
So a guy's nude would be in your group chat?
High risk. So if you sent me a dick pic, unsolicited, unasked for, and it was some random and like the DM request, and I screenshot that and send it on,
That's fine.
That person that sent it unsolicited would not see any sort of issue, but the girls or whoever screenshots and shares it can get done with revenge porn.
Yeah. No. I completely understand that, because we don't fucking do that. Like, I would never. Let's say a girl that I'm speaking to, right, sends me a nude of her, and then I actually find her attractive. I click with her. We have chemistry. We might actually be in a relationship. I would never share, even if it's not like that. I would never share, because what happens is, what if I marry this woman and my whole group chat has seen her naked? Now, how are they going to look up my wife? Do you know what I mean? Now I don't like all my friends because they've seen my wife. Like, never. I think, like, guys, if you're listening to this, like, someone's been done for revenge porn recently, which is Stephen Bear. It's not worth it. It's not fucking worth it. Like, what do you get out of it apart from being bitter and the fact that you're showing your ex-partner's body to all of these people, which is, again, think about it. If you had a daughter, would you want your daughter to be on the web being seen by all of these weird ass men commenting on this fucking video? You wouldn't want that. So don't do it.
Away
a lot of the backlash she got as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
From guys that were like, well, she done it. And you're like, well, no, the whole thing is that he was recording without her knowing. Which is another aspect, which is even creepier. But when I was talking about like images, obviously girls will send to you when they're kind of keen or interested or in a relationship, whatever, or if you ask for them, whatever. But these are like random people that you don't know on the internet. Like, if they wanted to, they could do like all the people that have screenshotted their stuff, even if it is just, you know, the box of the area. That can still be a thing. But we send our own nudes into the group chat for the other girls to see.
Oh,
okay. So we can, like, that's what I thought you meant. But also, when it comes to like dick pics and things like that, it's a high risk, because I had to. The police were involved with me for whatever, and I was told, if you share that, that's revenge porn. And I was like, oh, delete everything.
So you almost learned the hard way, basically.
Right, Jermaine, shall we say about our group chat, the amount of times that we've sent each other nudes as well? So yeah.
Well, I don't know about you or what group chat I've been in, but I've never received or sent nudes. And
you've been asking for a while, though. You've been asking.
Oh, don't get your hopes up. What you were saying, though, in terms of like revenge porn, like regardless of whether it be an ex or someone you've just speaking to, me personally, I don't know, from a moral standpoint, I couldn't share it. I don't see the point of sharing it. And again, I wouldn't be bitter like you say if it was an ex and share nudes. In fact, I don't know about you two, but when I end a relationship with someone and that's it, I delete.
Clean the slate.
Pictures.
Delete everything.
I don't. Some people like to keep receipts or just like to keep it in their, what's that term? Wank bank, like to use at a later date. But yeah, for me, I like to just get rid of all old stuff.
Yeah,
so
delete everything.
With my life.
Clean the slate.
Yeah.
Clean the slate. Because you need.
My exes have still got mine.
What?
How do you know for sure?
She's a hacker.
Because I wish I'd go and delete it. I know for a fact because one of them dropped me off some stuff on my birthday in April. We broke up 2 years ago now, and he showed me them on his phone.
What, he showed me pictures of us, like got them out and showed you.
He said something, and he went, "That's another one for the file or something," or whatever it was, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then he was like, "I've still got all your pictures," and I was like, "Show me them." I thought it was just like the wind up, and I was like, "Show me them," and he literally pulled them out, and there was all of them.
Oh my God.
And I was like, "Oh." So we were together for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like what the fuck? But so I am always like, just delete it, get rid of it all. It never happened. I don't know that man.
Yeah. Definitely delete it. You need more space for the next one. You need to just delete it off your phone.
That's the thing. If you're listening to this episode right now, I am not encouraging you to take nudes or send nudes or receive nudes. But I understand, obviously, when you're in a long-term relationship, like
it could be fun,
and you get comfortable and you explore new things. You take pictures. If you are to end the relationship, obviously, from my experience and obviously from what you just said, it would make sense, like in hindsight, to obviously mutually agree that in front of each other, let's delete all of our old nudes. When that, I don't know how often, how common that is, but in an ideal world, that would be the case. Otherwise, you just take their word for it, don't you? Like after you've gone your separate ways. Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, it's a crime now. So guys, if you're listening and you don't delete that shit and it goes in the web, it's a fucking crime.
But at the same time, how would you know who uploaded it? Even though you know who took the picture, how can you prove that? No,
you know whose dick that
know.
is.
In court. No. Listen to what I'm saying. In court, it's not about what you know; it's about what you can prove. Even though you know whose body part it is, and you might know who took the picture, how can you prove who uploaded it online? Do you get what I'm saying? I've never looked into that.
Yeah, so. but if the only person you've sent, then he becomes the main suspect. And like you said, it's not what you can prove, but what it looks like. So it's gonna look like he's still fucking posted.
No, it's not about
still
what
gonna
it looks
like. What he posted. It's still gonna look like that because if it's the only one that has that video, and if he's been sending it around, that's also illegal.
Caitlin, what's your verdict?
Don't send anybody else's shit, is my opinion on it. But there is a lot of, like, I'm on Twitter quite a lot, and you'll see like a lot of like viral tweets, and a lot of the viral tweets are things like, if you have an ex-partner's nudes, like delete them, stop being creepy. And then there's things like, up in Glasgow we have a big Facebook group called Gal Pals, and it's where like they can ask for like, where's the best place to get hair extensions, has anyone like done this, like whatever, can you support my small business. It's very like a little, it's so cute,
little community.
Yeah, of girls. But on the flip of that, girls will come across like Reddit threads and a lot of other things, and it's like chav girls, and it's like some guys maybe received a nude or like an illicit kind of picture or like in underwear or whatever. They'll post it, then they'll like tag hard like socials, so that all these other creepy men in this like thread can then go and find these girls.
Wow.
And there's so many threads. There's like Scottish girls, Scottish chavs, bimbos, like there's all these just really kind of derogatory things, but so stuff like that does exist. It is still happening, and it's obviously an issue enough for these things to becoming like viral and whatever else, but
that's crazy.
There's only so much you can do online because you can't really necessarily always trace things. People delete their accounts, people delete their account from say Instagram, then Instagram can't find that person if the police need to, if that makes sense.
But you do have you have a footprint though. You do have a footprint in terms of IP addresses and everything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but you got to be careful as well, guys. Go on, sorry, go on.
Oh, you go. No,
you go. No, it's fine. Mine's not a story.
So it's more just for like, the police obviously got involved with me because someone kept sending me like dick pics and things. They started sending them to the podcast page, then they started sending them to my personal, and I reported them. And one of my images for an episode, it's called Boys Will Be Boys, is literally me sitting on the bed with nothing from like the waist up, so it's just my back. And I put the title of the episode down like my spine. It's cute, it's just something different,
creative.
And it got reported and taken down like instantly because it went against guidelines, and I was like, that's my back, that is the back of my body, like there's nothing there. And then I was reporting this dick pic and I was reporting this account, nothing happened. He then found my personal account and then started sending me more stuff there. So then like I tweeted about it, and then the police like added me and they were like, what is going on? And I was like, oh, just all of this. Yeah, so it became a whole thing. And then the
police added you on social media.
Yeah, they kind of saw it, and I was like, this is a mess, blah blah blah. Like, and I was like at an Instagram, and I was like, why are you taking down a picture of a back when I'm literally getting like videos sent to me of this guy like having like ejaculating, like and I'm like, it's a back. And then for him to then come and find my personal was like a kind of another just like wee kind of kick in the teeth, and I was like, what is going on? Tweeted about it a bit more. A lot of my friends kind of like reported it and things, and then the Metropolitan Police were like, can you DM us a bit about this? And I was like, okay. So then they sent it up to like obviously the police in Scotland, and then the police in Scotland 3 weeks later came to my house and were like, oh, that's how I know about the revenge porn.
No way. We have not got followers like that. Hopefully that don't happen where we get police involved and receive all sorts of
You're getting blocked straight away if you send us a fucking dick pic, first of all. You're getting blocked.
It's bizarre, but they can't find it. So that guy deleted his account eventually, or the report from a second account for the same thing obviously removed the account. So when the internet police went to find the account on Instagram were like, yeah, we don't know who that is, it's gone. So it was
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Right. So let's get back to what the episode actually is. We're not talking about just revenge porn today. So I'm going to ask you this. So let's say you get in a relationship, Caitlin. So if your boyfriend has social media, right, and he gets a lot of attention, he gets a lot of likes and comments, and like obviously in let's say comments including eggplants and heart emojis and I know was it I heart emojis and stuff like that. Yeah. Would you feel a certain type of way if your man gets all of this attention, and obviously vice versa to us? Like, what would you say?
I would say no. Like, if you're posting me, if it's like knowing that we're together, if you're not being shady, then no.
If you get
like, okay.
I was gonna say, what if he weren't posting you though? Let's say because you wanted to keep not because he was trying to hide you per se, and vice versa. But let's say for his business or for your podcast, you don't want to publicize that you're in a relationship. And he was still getting them. Would that then change it for you, or?
If it was like that, and he didn't want to like maybe post like me, it should still be public knowledge that he is in a relationship.
Yeah.
Disrespectful to not like. There's this whole thing: keep it private, but like let people know the situation.
You're in a relationship. Yeah,
like you don't have to air it and be like, we've had this massive fight, all the drama. Just this is mine. Don't touch it. Like that's kind of it. You know.
Yeah.
That's my take on that. I'm not a big fan of like hiding people. I think it's really kind of disrespectful.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. In terms of like people posting comments on social media, I haven't got a problem with it. If people are posting like heart emojis and stuff on my girl's social media, like I expect that as social media. Do you know what I'm saying? And obviously, if I think my girlfriend's beautiful, I'm not the only one that's going to think that. Yeah. So other people's going to think that.
Yeah,
so
you're going to hype her up too.
That, I mean, if she was responding like, "Oh yeah, I feel the same way about you. Let's meet up." That's a different story, obviously. But
you ain't gonna see that. You ain't gonna see that if she's that dumb to post that on her fucking socials instead of the DMs. You ain't gonna see that.
Yeah. But generally speaking, doesn't bother me.
No. See,
does it bother you?
Like for me, hell no. I don't give a shit. Like. Again, it's the same thing. Like I know if I'm comfortable with myself, I'm not insecure. I'm confident that she's my woman, and like there's a trust there. I wouldn't feel that way. And if anything, I'll hype you up. I'll message on your thing like little subliminals. Even if we're saying that we're private, and like we're not saying that like I'm in a relationship with her, but you're saying that you're in a relationship. I would put subliminals on the photos, like that only me and you know about. If I just put an asterisk or something. You know what that means. That means like you're hot. I'm going to go home and fuck you later. Do you know what I mean? Like all of this like little subliminals, I think that's fun.
What was that? Say that again.
You know when you do a code. So like, let's say
Caitlin, did you know that code, Caitlin, what you just said? Or did that just go right over your head?
No, I didn't really. Like, obviously everyone has their own things. I know what he's talking about, but like for just an example, obviously the asterisks, like, in my head, that meant arsehole, but like, do your own thing.
different codes, right? So you have.
What was the code that you just said there? What was the code you just said?
Asterisk.
He said asterisks.
Oh, asterisks.
Yeah. So like, so you can literally have anything. You could just have 4 hashtags, and that means I'm coming home and having sex with you. You don't know, so no one knows your code apart from you guys. So like, if I say, because again. We have a business podcast, right? So our Instagram is completely about us and not necessarily about our personal life. We don't really give everything away. Like, but you know that I've said that I was in a relationship before when I was in a relationship. And then obviously now I'm not in a relationship, you guys know, but it's the whole like thing of like, if it's private and you agreed it's private, like there's no reason why you should be acting up when something like that happens. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, each other. What do you both feel about like jealousy then? Like obviously we're talking about jealousy. Like in terms of relationship, do you think it's healthy to have like some level of jealousy or no jealousy, or could you be someone that's really jealous?
I like a girl to be jealous sometimes.
I don't get jealous.
Never.
No, I'll pull you the fuck up if there's anything shady going on.
I don't get jealous. I just slap.
Yeah, like what's mine is mine. I said it before, don't fucking touch it. Like I like also another thing you said about being like insecure. I don't think you necessarily have to be insecure to question someone and what they're doing. If someone has given you like a reason or like kind of they're being like a wee bit off, they're being a wee bit odd, like, for example, if I got with a guy, he had a private Instagram, I was like, okay, cool, whatever, no big deal. We only had like 110 followers. And then a couple of months down the line, he's public and he's following all these private accounts, and then all the private accounts are following him back. What the fuck's going on? What are you doing? Like, that's shady. And I think you should be allowed to kind of pull people up for that. And then if you can see who's liking whose stuff, and it's all like new likes and new whatever from these private accounts, how are you finding the private accounts? They're private. How are you finding them? Things like that. You have to just kind of lay down the law.
Okay, I'll give you a flip side of that. What if the guy don't have social media? I don't have social media apart from Diaries for Discussion. I haven't had social media for 5-6 years. I haven't had my own private Instagram. I haven't had Facebook. So how is that for you if a guy don't have a social media? Because sometimes a guy could say, I don't have social media, but they're actually trying to hide something, which is not the case for me. Do you know what I mean? How would you handle that?
Yeah, I have to just take it on the chin, I think. I am not bothered, and it also means he can't get Raj about what I'm doing, which is fine.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I don't do anything shady, but like I'll post pictures or whatever else, like, and I'll put things on my story that he would maybe have an issue with, or he would take that as like a pointed, like, I've had exes before contact and be like, when we're together, is that about me? No, it's not. It's a picture of a pit bull with a diamond collar on. How is that about you? Like, do you know? It doesn't make sense, but they're like, oh my God, what? She must be talking about me. No, I'm not. Like, I saw a cute dog and I posted it on my Instagram story, and it's like, and I said I'm like the only man I need in my life. So I'm just cute like that. And I'm like, don't take it so personal. It is social media. You know, it's weird.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I mean, if you're with someone, like, I feel like obviously it's I'm not a jealous person, like, whatsoever. As far as I'm aware, I don't feel like I'm a jealous person. Maybe when I was back when I was like 16, maybe, but obviously that was like first love. You live and you learn. I lived a lot of life since then, so I'm not jealous. But obviously, when you're with someone that is a bit insecure, then it only makes sense that they would react like that. But I couldn't be with someone that is insecure on that level, because I feel like obviously then you can't really have a laugh about certain things. Like when you're posting something, they can't really relate because they're going to think everything's about them, and then you got to sort of walk on eggshells around someone. I couldn't be dealing with that personally. Yeah,
so see, for me, like, not having social media has been so refreshing. Like meeting people properly and actually getting to know them properly. My friends calling me because they can't see what I'm doing on social media is fun. Like, now everyone wants to know what you're doing, rather than like the whole fake, hey, like, how you been? But they've seen every post that you've like posted on social media, and they've liked every post, they've commented on posts, and like, you already know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, it's fake. But no, I feel like 5 years, almost 6 years without social media, I feel like I'm going to an 8 a.m. meeting right now. If it was great.
How are you coping without social media, without actually being able to like meet up and get to know people like that?
I mean, I have obviously I had Tinder, and then also we have our podcast Instagram, which, like, this whole lockdown has been benefiting us through interaction. So there are people that will reach out if they're having troubles with their mental health, or if they just want to talk to someone, like people showing us their art, their work, their music, and they speak to us and stuff like that, which is like, because that's the only social media I have. So I will interact on there and stuff like that. But really, I've got so many friends that I can just ring up and stuff. Like, it's not been a problem. Like, if Jermaine don't pick up, I can ring someone else. And no, I've never, if I feel like I'm struggling and I know I'm struggling, I'd call someone and be like, look, can I speak to you? Blah, blah, blah. It's just, it's not a bother. Like, I'm 28 now. I know like what not to do, what to do, or wallow in your own fucking self-pity. I'm not going to do that no more. Do you know what I mean? Like, you learn from your own shit. So yeah, good question.
Well, I think we'll wrap it up there.
Wait. Before we wrap it up, there's one important question that we haven't asked Caitlin. Does size matter, Caitlin?
Yes. Of course it does. Yes.
Elaborate. Yeah, like, why does it matter? Why does it matter? Tell me.
Tu's just like, elaborate. Don't stop at size. Tell me shape.
Elaborate.
Okay, so do you know when you have like a light snack and it just doesn't quite fill you up?
Doesn't quite hit it. Yeah.
You're like, oh, just wish there was more of that.
Yeah. Okay, say less. Say less.
Yeah. I don't know, like,
okay.
I talk quite a lot about, obviously, dicks. Of course, they plague my life. In the bedroom, out the bedroom, on social media, whatever. And I think size does matter, but I also think, like, this is a thing as well. I've noticed guys with massive dicks, I'm talking like 8 to 9 kind of ballpark.
Right.
They are lazy. They are so lazy with it. They are so lazy.
They just expect you to deal with it.
Well, no, they're just kind of like, I rubbed your tit, I've grabbed your ass, like, yeah, let's go, and then it's kind of just fucking.
There's not that, yeah. There's
and
not
then that's
that.
it done, and you're like, that was not great for me.
So are you basically saying that guys with a smaller dick, let's say, feel like they've got to put in more work leading up to it? Is that what you're saying?
In my experience, guys with bigger dicks are lazier because they're like, oh, I've got a big dick, this is all she wants. Nah, want some attention. I want some like hard work. I want a graft. If I have to put that in my throat, you have to put some effort in. Like,
yeah. You have to eat the box. You gotta eat the box if she's putting it in the throat. So it's just equal, right?
Like
equal opportunities.
So 100%, like, one of my exes was quite lazy, but we fixed it, we turned it around, and it was great in the end. I mean, I had a great time. He had an even better time. So, like, but one of my other exes
email
was,
us on Diaries FD. Let us know what your connection is with Caitlin and tell us the descriptions.
I mean, do you want it? But not. So I had a recent experience with someone quite short, in both size and height. And it was not like I don't know, like that's another thing. I think, you know, one size does not fit all, obviously, but some guys hype it up. They're like, I'm so good at eating, I'm the best at this, I do everything, and then you get there and you're like, not quite. Can you just what about, can you stop biting my inner thigh? Like, can you you know? So
well, that's what I was thinking earlier when you said about like the guy who said he was all muscly and he turned up skinny. I was thinking, why do some people hype up what they apparently have when they know they haven't got that, and then when it comes to it, they can't step up to the mark? It makes no sense.
Can I also just say, guys or girls, every guy or woman that you mess with the first time, their body is different from the ones you've had before. You could be good because of the fact that you know that body and you've been with that body for 6 years. So you know the in and outs of that body. That when you go to a new one and you say like, I'm good at this, I'm good at that. What if she can only come internally? She could only come like inside or out. You don't know. And you're like trying to lick her out, but she can only come inside. And like, you got to figure out, like, you got to learn someone's body to kind of make something good. And that's part of like a connection before meeting up with someone, and like have it before you have sex. Sometimes you got to have a mental connection, because if you don't hit a sort of connection, you're not going to connect. I'm saying connection a lot, but it's important. Like when you have sex with someone and like you think you're good, but really you're not, because it's a different body.
There's another thing though, like when you were talking about casual sex, girls are so like mental. Like it's all like, you have to make sure like you've turned them on mentally, because that's like the tap. You turn the tap and then there's the water flowing, you know? So
that's it.
And casual sex, like, guys, they see things, they visualize, like whatever. Obviously some people prefer like the mental connection, whatever. Some people don't really care for the other person and just essentially use that body to masturbate, which is like another weird vibe. But girls are so like mentally stimulated, and you can be on the brink before anything's even like happened if you know what you're doing and you know how to like kind of turn that mental calm, you know?
Before you even get there, you can build that tension of, it's almost like teasing each other, like before you get into the bedroom, and you build that tension of like I don't know, a sudden caress of the inner thigh, or like sudden touch on the neck. Without them, it's subtle. You don't want it to look like it's massive,
too
like
much,
it's
too
right
full
there.
on,
Yeah, exactly. You want to build that fucking like connection, like that whole tension, and before you get there is like boom, it hits. Do you know what I mean? Because you've already been doing it, you've been grafting the whole day without it knowing. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, I feel like I'm trying to sell myself. I'm not, by the way. I'm
literally, I was literally thinking that.
No, but that's how I think. If I'm seeing someone and like I know what makes it tick, I know that if I touch her here, you know, but being subtle. But I'm not trying to sell myself, but that's just the way I think.
Yeah.
Don't you feel that way, Jermaine?
Guy...
Sorry, Caitlin, go on before Jermaine. You're more important than Jermaine. Go on.
You're so sweet. But no, I had a guy turn around. We're sitting on the couch. No, nothing before this, and he literally grabbed my head like a football and started like trying to kiss me. And even when I kind of pulled back, he like pulled me back to him, and I was like, no, like that's a no. Like, so see how you were talking about it being subtle and like building up instead of just fucking driving a car into a wall, do you know?
Exactly. Because it's unexpected. It's like if you say to someone Netflix and chill, and you're actually wanting to chill in Netflix, and then suddenly they whip the dick out. Do you know what I mean? You're gonna be like, whoa! I actually just wanted to watch a film. But, yeah, no.
I meant the real meaning behind it.
Yeah, build up is like something that should be done, and it's not just like, boom, we're having sex. You got to arouse someone in the ways that you think they would be aroused if they like it that way. Some people like to be, dirty talk. Some people like to be touched here and there. So everyone's different. You got to find the niche of that person. Everyone's different. So someone could like the fact that you walk into the door and you just choke them. That's it. They're in it. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone has different preferences. It's learning about that woman, that person that you're going to be with or trying to be with. So I'm sorry about Tinder, guys, if I hindered you, but I've deleted Tinder now. So.
Okay, guys and girls. Well, on that note, I hope you got some takeaways from this episode. By the lovely Caitlin. Thank you for sharing your experiences with us today. For people that want to find you on your podcast, where can I hit you up?
The podcast is on all podcast platforms. I think the main kind of popular ones are Google, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And then I'm obviously on
Instagram
and Twitter and Facebook. So yeah, find me wherever you want to find me.
Just don't be a stalker. Okay, just don't be a stalker and sending all of this dick pics.
Send no pics.
No dick pics.
Right. Yep, thank you again, Caitlin. Thank you for joining us today. You've been a great guest, and I hope I didn't try to sell myself that much, but yeah.
That's okay. I'll just slide into your DMs later.
He'll be straight in the DM.
Yeah, we'll speak later. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. It's your boy Tuas. Peace out.
And Jermaine, goodbye.